Paying rent can feel like throwing money away. And when you're spending so much, it can be hard to see yourself buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is helping you put your monthly rent towards home ownership with Rent Rewards. For the first time, save up to $5,000 off the cost of your first home just by paying rent. Only at Rocket Mortgage. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon Business. How can you free up your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business empowers leaders to not only streamline purchasing, but better support their teams so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more about the technology, insights, and support available at amazonbusiness.com.
I'm Ann Foster, host of the feminist women's history comedy podcast, Vulgar History, and every week I share the saga of a woman from history whose story you probably didn't already know and you will never forget after you hear it. Sometimes we re-examine well-known people like Cleopatra or Pocahontas, sharing the truth behind their legends. Sometimes we look at the scandalous women you'll never find in a history textbook. If you can hear my cat purring, she is often on the podcast as well. Listen to Vulgar History wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello and welcome to See Ya Next Tuesday. Hey. This is the episode where we go through the results of last week's episode of But Am I Wrong? And we read the results, how you voted, your thoughts and feelings, your replies, and we discuss. So, we've got episode 140. I finally got the numbers correct. And I'm going to kick it off with Meghan teaches Clayton Etchard the definition of bullying. And we do have him with a little dance and a speech bubble saying skinny jeans are my passion. 1% said I was wrong. 99% said I was not wrong.
What an odd image.
And he doesn't want to be bullied for this. And to that I say,
is it bullying if we're just talking about it?
Also, are we watching the same videos, Clayton?
So this is something he just posts on TikTok of him
Melissa, he posts dancing videos of him all the time. And by the way, Clayton, if anyone's going to critique your dancing, I do think it should be someone who is a semifinalist in Dancing with the Stars and a professional dancer for the Broncos cheerleaders. So someone said, in the same way you ladies are never wrong, Gabby is never wrong. Someone else said, howled when Meghan said he is a pea on top of a hoagie body type. I did make a graphic that I posted on our Instagram to show Clayton what bullying actually is. And I do think it's pretty apt if you've seen him before. Also, this man, what a fucking deadly combo, and I mean that in a derogatory way. Skinny jeans and a pea coat. Like a short pea coat. That is quite literally so ugly. That is Hallmark budget in the dead of summer. The lint on that jacket, get it off. Someone else said, where did it go? Oh, him continuing to post those dances is 1000% rage bait. He's asking to be bullied, but Gabby didn't even bully him. That's how I feel. Even if this was bullying, which it wasn't, men should be bullied more. So I see nothing wrong. I also agree with that.
Men are so sensitive.
Melissa, men are so fucking emotional and so fucking sensitive. It's crazy. What do you mean that, this deeply hurt you in the same 24-month period that a woman took you to court for a fake paternity of children who didn't exist? Your litmus, your range now of, things that hurt you or, ruin your day and your life, you can't be fucking serious.
The way that they will go punch a wall before just talking about their feelings is hilarious to me.
The way that they will break and bloody their knuckles before wiping their ass is it's just fucking crazy. It's insane to me. And also the way that they will fly to Turkey and get little dots poked in their head with singular follicles of a hair before they will go to therapy or talk about their feelings is just crazy. It's just fucking crazy. Someone else said, talking shit about an ex is not bullying. That's just called having an ex. It's so crazy how vile men can be to you and then act like a wounded puppy when someone gives them a sip of their own medicine. But kudos to Gabby all around. One of the only Batch seasons that I watched was her combined one, and the way she wasn't shy about shutting down these people also warms my heart. I love knowing we play for the same team. She also just did her courthouse wedding. Her and her wife got married in Vegas, but they just did like a courthouse one. And I'm addicted to the fact that, like, again, like I said, Bachelor Nation, the moms are very mad at her for her behavior towards Clayton because they're like, oh, poor innocent boy, Gabby, you are being so mean to him. They are now all, it feels like she's like low-key rage baiting them with her outfit. They're so mad. It's like a micro mini dress, long sleeve with like big ruffles at the bottom and no bra, titties out. Like, you can, it's sheer. And they're all like, oh my goodness, this is so unclassy. And she's just like, she looks gorgeous. She looks so hot and looks so happy. And I'm just like, I love that this woman came through the Bachelor franchise and is like, she's so like skyrocketing past that audience because she is a star. And that's it for this one. Wait, didn't you say someone talked about him?
Yeah.
Wait, where was that? Stop. Clayton is on my Hinge all the time. The ultimate, you really think you ate with that sweater.
And there's video.
He put the dancing video on his Hinge? He's like built like the abominable snowman. Like, he had to have played football. He has no legs. He's all torso. Oh, and you know what they tried to do for so long on the live stream, but I didn't cave, is they wanted to know what the fanfic you wrote, what the genre was or the show was. You don't even know what it is. Well, that's what I said. I was like, wait, you guys don't know? And they were like, no. And I was like, oh, then I was like, I thought I've never said it to anyone. That's what I said. I was like, I was like, oh, I thought we all, I didn't know this was either going to be a big secret. So they were like, well, which one is it? I was like, here's the thing, guys. The one I thought it was, if you don't know, then it's not that. Like, the one I thought it was would not have been a secret. And they were trying so hard to get me to tell. And I was like, I can't stress this enough, everybody. I don't know. And also, if the one that I think it is, or I thought it was, if that's like not, I like made a joke where I was like, Melissa would be the one to tell everybody in her life a different one. And then if it gets out, then she knows who it was. And like, I'm not going to fucking do that. Perfect. And they were all like, oh, fair point. That does make sense. That does make a lot of sense. But yeah, I think that is it. All right. Then mine was, Melissa reminds us that protests should be a little scary. 1% said I was wrong. 99% said I was not wrong. Someone said, I feel like a lot of allies to the various communities see their allyship as exciting or risky and adventurous, especially if they come from conservative backgrounds. So they want everything they do to feel like an event so they can check it off a list. No matter what protest I go to, I'm always a little scared and never excited about the fact that I have to protest. Facts. Someone else said, the white woman ignorance goes crazy. Mm-hmm. And then someone else said, IDK what to vote in this case, as I don't exactly think that protests should be scary. I think that they are, and I don't see a context where they would not be, but I don't necessarily think they should be. Like, it would be better if they were not, and if force wasn't used against peaceful protests, but that's not the reality. It seems very contradictory. Also, in an ideal world you wouldn't need to protest. Yes. Like, protesting is a right that we have, but it is a rite of passage in a way that, like, there's a need for it in, like, an ideal world. Yes, it's meant to go against the establishment. I feel like your statement was a little contradictory because you're stepping out of a comfort zone. Anything that's out of a comfort zone, there is a little fear that goes with it. And you shouldn't be comfortable going to a protest because you're fighting against the establishment, and there's a such thing as good trouble. Yeah, and this is where, like, the fundamental difference between a rally and a protest, because, like, rallies are also for things that are, like, also for, like, established systems that we already have to participate in, like voting or signing a petition, like doing, like, actionable things, and, like, it's meant to drum up excitement. Yeah, and for something that we have control, we have an aspect of control over. And, like, rallies are really a lot about, like, education and, like... Unless it's, like, a Klan rally. Do they call those rallies? Yes, that's what they're called. Oh, okay. Yeah. So maybe that's why some people are like trying to dismiss the differences between like a protest and a rally. In an ideal world, we wouldn't have to have protests, because to the point where you're protesting something, and again, it's not like a rally where you have a say in something or we're organizing to vote, we're doing whatever, like community organize, like a protest is happening that we have to disrupt. It is because all of those other forms have not worked, and like it has to get to get to this level.
Yeah, I think you nailed it when you said protest is meant to disrupt.
Yeah. And that's because shit's already happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a counteract to that. So I understand, and like neither of us are saying that like we want protest to be violent, but in general.
And they don't necessarily have to be violent to be scary. Like being arrested at a peaceful protest can still be scary without being violent, even though it goes against morals.
It's like the same thing when people like complain about like, oh my God, like what even is the point of this sit-in that's happening on like the 405? You're just like making people like late for work. I'm like, that's the point. Like the point is for it to get in the way of your day. The point is like and the same thing of like, I don't agree with like PETA, honestly, like mostly point blank. Like I don't agree with like a lot of their tactics or whatever, but like that's the point. Like the point of them is like, yeah, when people like storm a fashion show or they throw blood, whatever, like it is quite literally to get in your way, to make your day harder, make your day more frustrating. And like a lot of people are like, well, that doesn't change anything. That's not true. Like
it brings awareness to the cause, because if you're nice with it, quote unquote, quote, nice with it, then that doesn't make anyone upset.
You can ignore it. The whole point is it needs to be something you can't ignore. And a lot of the time what protests are protesting is violence, and that will be met with aggression, whether that's emotional aggression or physical aggression from any side, whether it's the response of trying to be like, no, not like, don't do this, or like fighting up against what you have been there for or what you are fighting for. So I understand we're not saying like we love violence, but it is just the history of protest. Mm-hmm. And even what a lot of people were taught were quote unquote peaceful protests.
Yep.
But I think a lot of people don't realize that.
That was it.
You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. There are many ways to entice a potential new customer with flashy branding and calculated marketing strategies. But at the end of the day, the success of a business comes down to the ability to close the sale. And for businesses like Thrive Cosmetics, Allbirds, or Skims, it's what goes on behind the scenes, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple that makes the difference. For them and for millions of businesses, that difference is made with Shopify. Businesses that want to grow, grow with Shopify. Because if your goal is growth, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. And Shopify will make sure you're ready. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And with Shop Pay, they boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. It's no wonder Shopify is home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/realm.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button.
But we have writer number 1. Are they wrong to ask their boyfriend to keep his sexcapades to himself? Who is wrong? 4% said the writer is wrong. 96% said the writer is not wrong. And exclusive, we do have a photo of her boyfriend listed. And I say that with love if the writer is listening. I don't know that. Okay. As much as I hope that this is a my boyfriend was the dick god and satisfied a lot of women type situation, if I was a writer, I definitely would not want to know. Whenever I finally find my wife, no matter how many previous partners she's had, I'm going to act as if I was the first one. Unless me knowing about your previous sexcapades will impact our relationship in a significant way, more than just an awkward interaction, I do not want to know at all. I may have ADHD, but my memory is good enough for that. And that's self-awareness.
But also, it wasn't just women.
To be fair, that is also true. I still think it's so funny when the writer was like, I don't even know why I'm telling you that. I don't know if it's important. I was like, no. I know why I'm picking it up. I understand. This man is deeply popular. The only thing I would say is like, I have to assume they were satisfied customers. Like I just,
yes.
And so my thing is like, is this going to be the only person that we will have known by proxy who is going to have a wedding where someone stands up and goes, I object, because they're all just in love? Like, I understand how that could be frustrating, but as a Leo, I'm like, I win. Mm-hmm. Though I would more of the attention. Yeah, I'm the chosen, the chosen one, and I've got good damn fucking taste
out of all of you.
Yeah, he sampled the entire charcuterie board. Mm-hmm. He's had every crudité out there, and he goes, I want that one.
I like that little apricot right there.
Yeah. I almost had turnip, and then I said, wait, I think turnips are a little polarized. No, radish. Sorry. I love radish.
Can't you say that I do. I don't hate them, but
I love a crunchy, watery vegetable.
You love celery?
Yeah. You know what I also really fucking love? Water chestnuts.
I'm going to make some lettuce
cups,
and I just got some to put in there.
Anytime people are like, oh, we can just like omit, that's never omit a water chestnut. Like you have to, like it brings a texture, and I love it. Mm-hmm. And I also love the little pieces, and it's not the same, but like they're in the same vein. In the Chex Mix, the little brown bread that looks like little slices.
They're delicious. They're so seasoned to perfection.
And they're so crunchy.
Mm-hmm. You can just buy those. Well, you can't eat them anyway.
I can't, but I would love to do that if I could.
I feel
they're so crunchy. Char, you should be able to make them gluten-free.
Char probably has something close to it.
Probably depends on where.
But you have to order it online.
Yeah, I want another Thrive Market sponsorship. Thrive Market, sponsor me, please.
All right. Then we have writer number 2. Would they be wrong to ask their boyfriend to move out? 8% said the writer is wrong. 92% said the writer's not wrong. I gotta say, this is one of my favorite ones.
This was so fucking funny. And us just being like, you have to get him out of your house. Why is he there? This is also like I was so afraid of this happening for me, like just in general, like this is also so me of being like, I actually need you to leave expeditiously.
Someone said, if this is accessible to the couple, it might be a good idea to rent a flat for a few weeks to try living in a space that wasn't hers at first and is perhaps bigger, so they have enough space, and see if that would help. Yeah.
Oh, like an Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. And like in the city though, but like not travel.
No. Another person said, I'm autistic and have OCPD. OCD, but a personality disorder instead of a separate compulsive behavior. My brain is compulsive and a control freak in every aspect of my life. LOL. And I know that I'll never be able to live with another human. You don't have to be neurodivergent or have a personality disorder to need your own space. Some people are just happier living separately from their romantic partner. Some even have kids together and don't live together, and the other parent, even though they are in a romantic relationship. Families come in all shapes and sizes and in all sorts of ways. There is no right way to live, and just because it isn't normative doesn't mean it's unhealthy or bad. Agree.
I do think I would be worried about the partner who lives with unless the kids switch off, like split evenly.
I've thought about that too, just because it's about the certain level of cleanliness I have when it comes to things, because I do have undiagnosed contamination issues.
Yeah. I don't know how much
I don't need to be diagnosed to know that I have it.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I got diagnosed, there would be really nothing.
No, they would go, so you have this, and you'd go,
yeah,
I know.
Thanks.
It would just be you would just be sharing.
Yes. And then this man came over and he was putting on his shoes to leave. And I was like, well, you can sit down, because he was like almost falling over. And he was like, oh, I don't like to have shoes in the living room. I was like, actually, this is the designated area for that. And then I knew then that this could potentially be
you just
be
like
someone I could
like
have
anime.
in my
your
home.
eyes turns into hearts, and you're just like, what did you say? Say it. Can you say that again?
Mm-hmm.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Do I know this guy?
I don't know.
God, you're so fucking elusive. I love when people, as soon as you leave the live stream, they're like, give us dirt. And I was like, you bitches think I know more? You bitches think that she doesn't tell me that too? And then I literally said to them, I was like, you guys, she is my best friend, but she has instilled a healthy level of fear in me from her. And that's what she wants. And I don't want to do it wrong.
The way that they were really picking at you lets me know that the next live stream, we're going to have a little discussion.
They were like, don't tell her. And I was like, you guys, I have to tell her.
My gosh. Nosy bitches.
I know. And I was like, you guys, I love that you think that, like, I'm privy to more information than you, but, like, at the end of the day, the Aquarius will Aquarius. Like, there are certain things that are a surprise to us all.
Was this stuff that was recorded?
No.
Someone else said, I'm only saying this because I think the writer is ignoring a potential larger issue. If she's this opposed to sharing space with him, he may not be the one for her. Totally agree with you, too, about the power dynamic of a partner moving in versus moving into a new place together. Here's some TikTok comments that I'll bring over. There's a few of them. Someone said, I was cackling throughout the whole reading, like, hate waking up next to someone. Are you sure you like him, girl?
It's a valid point.
Yeah. Someone else said, this is the one. My boyfriend and I talk about buying a duplex and each having our own space. We do have kids involved. And I've seen this where people like live in a duplex and the kids just have 2 rooms and they can just go back and forth between the 2 places. As a family, have like dinner together and stuff like that.
I think that really also depends on the partner that you pick, because like the mental load is so often in heterosexual, like heteronormative relationships, so often put on the woman, the mom figure. And if you've got a partner who like that is not like an issue, but like, yeah, I would very much worry. It's like the whole instead of like, like go ask your mom trend. Yeah. Like, oh, just go ask your mom. And then it's just, like it's, you don't want to have like downstairs be Disney dad, upstairs be wicked mother kind of vibe.
Disney dad, the mom's always dead.
I mean Disneyland dad. Sorry. No, you're right. Disney dads are, to be fair, they kill a lot of parents. They're like, mom, dad, suck. Both of them. Kill them both.
It's either the mom is dead or they're both dead. It's never like the mom is alive and there's no dad.
No, because they said life goes on. These men weren't doing shit anyway. No, they're like, we got to kill both parents. As long as the mom is dead. I do also think that like it's crazy, even in like a Disney stereotype, dad's moving on real quick, and like she is like quite literally a witch.
Yeah, because, which happens in real life, men move on a lot faster because they're used to somebody taking care of them.
Yep.
And it's about that person taking care of them and taking care, if they have children, taking care of the children, and not necessarily someone that they love.
No, and like that's a lot of the time that like people will clock when like you ask a man like what his favorite thing is about his partner, and he'll share like something that she does for him or something that she brings out in him.
All right, you're next.
Oh, my new vocal stim is driving me crazy.
What is it?
Wagon wheel with Tootsie. I can't stop. And also as a Cher fan, you know, I was Cher for Halloween one year as a kid.
Yes.
Imagine me in that long fucking wig.
Yes.
It went.
It makes sense.
It went to the crooks of my knees.
Nothing about this does not make sense or
No.
is surprising to me.
No. Yeah, I think the year before was Elvis. I loved a wig. Most it was Lilo and Stitch. That was my wasn't Elvis. Also like I didn't grow up listening to Elvis. I grew up listening to exclusively
I'm
Motown.
surprised your parents even allowed this.
I will level with you. I do think it is when one of them had cancer, and so I don't think that they were very
aware
present
of what was
in
happening.
that.
Okay.
No. And I was just watching Lilo and Stitch over and over and over again.
Which is, again, I don't understand why you don't like Bruno Mars.
You know, when you put it that way, that is actually quite fair. That is, I should love that little man. And by the way, I'm loving that little man's personality.
He makes great music. I don't think you've listened to his recent music.
No, because all I listened to was I used to listen to his old stuff.
Yeah.
And then he got too famous. So like he got so famous so fast. So he was no longer like my guy on the EP on my fucking playlist. And he became like so big. And then it was like you couldn't go to a Marshall's or Ross, a Target, a Mace, anything without hearing it over and over and over again. And it was a little too much for me. Okay. Then we have my wrong of the week. J.K. Rowling and her mold. Who is wrong? The mold turf is wrong, 93%. Mold turf is not wrong, 7%. I would like to, I'll take the onus. People were a little confused about how I worded this, and they did vote wrong. Mary, you didn't vote wrong. I don't know why Mary messaged and said, oh my God, no, sorry, J.K. Rowling's wrong. You voted, if you didn't vote wrong. It's okay. And I apologize, everyone. Someone said, this bitch is wrong. Am I 2 weeks behind on the podcast? Yes. We'll catch up. Do I need to listen to know that she's wrong? No. And she will always be wrong, and I will never forgive her for being a raging bigot. I haven't reread one of my favorite book series because of her, and I will never be able to read it in peace again. J.K. Rowling was wrong yesterday, is wrong today, and will be wrong tomorrow. I will say, like, I'm not of the camp of, like, if you can't consume it at all, like, anymore, because, like, it has lost its luster for you, that's really fine. But, like, I can't stress to you how, like, I swear to God, the Harry Potter books are the books I find most in used bookstores more than anything. Like, there are ways if you still want to, like, read them or whatever that, like, do not give her money. Like, don't go to Harry Potter World. Don't spy official things. Don't support official stuff or whatever. But, like, the secondhand market is, like, quite literally littered with the movies as well as the books. And,
don't
like,
all you nerds already have all that paraphernalia anyway?
Well, so I didn't have them because someone else had taken them. And when Matsu's parents found out, like, probably like 4 days later, there's like this heavy ass box that is delivered, 2 of them. And I open, and it's all of the old hardcover books that they had that they sent. And I was like, oh my God, thanks. Like, this is so lovely. So I have them still. I will say that, like, I do think people, if you had only really read it when you were younger or watched them when you were, specifically read them when you were younger, I do think it's important to read them when your frontal lobe is developed and you're older, because, like, you have a stronger understanding and a larger understanding of, like, racist tropes or stereotypes and things like that, because, like, there are clues in this that, like, I fully did not get as, like, a little white girl growing up in Marin. And, like, now when I look at them, I'm like, oh, this is really fucked up. And so I think, like, viewing this as, like, oh, she has tarnished this whole legacy. The legacy of itself, there was, like, hate woven into a lot of it. And I think the overarching theme of the parallels between the wizarding world versus the Muggle world, and racism and like the Civil War and all that stuff. Like those overshadowed a lot of the fact that like she wasn't necessarily, she was writing about the right side, but she was not on the right side, and like you can tell in other stuff. So you know, I don't think we'll get, as an adult, I don't think I would get be shocked by things like this again, because she wasn't hiding it very well. And that was also before the mold got to her. Someone else said she is always wrong. Mm-hmm. She either needs to learn to shut her bigoted mouth or get off the internet and live her mold-ridden life without making it the world's problem. That's the part that I'm like, just be rich in that castle. Like, I think about that with certain people where I'm like, Mike Myers. Where's Mike Myers? He like shows up on SNL every now and again. And I'm like, what has he been doing? And Mott's is like spending his money.
Where is Mike Myers?
I know. And then I said the same thing about Eddie Murphy, but now Eddie Murphy has a new movie coming out.
Murphy's everywhere all the time. I
don't feel like this year I started seeing him in a lot more like just out and about and like either paparazzi pictures or on carpets or promoting things. But like 5 years prior to that, I was like, where is he?
Eddie's been around.
Okay, then I missed him.
You've just been missing him.
And by the way, I was actively missing him, and then emotionally I was missing him. And so I just saw he's got a new movie coming out, Dr. Dolittle. I am ready. It's not Dr. Dolittle, but to me, he will always
got be Shrek coming
Dr.
out.
Dolittle. I know, but his face.
He had the Beverly Hills Cop came out at the end of last year. They had Dolomite. Like, he's had plenty of movies out. I just think you're missing.
Oh, did he do the new Coming to America?
Yes.
Oh.
He had to.
Okay, so I actually think that...
I think you're just missing his black projects.
I think I am. And now I got to go back. Oh, that's 2021.
Murphy hasn't gone anywhere. Well, you said last 5 years. That's in the last 5 years.
No, you're right. Well, so Moss has never seen Dreamgirls. And then he's like, wasn't... I like re-fell in love with him when he said this. He goes, "Oh, Dreamgirls, wasn't that the one where like Eddie Murphy was just robbed of the Oscar?" And I was like,
Yes.
I was like, the fact that that's what you know about Dreamgirls is that Eddie Murphy was robbed, and I was like, yeah, he was robbed, and I like, thank you, love you even more, and we gotta watch it.
The fella that played Cece is the first recast on the new soap opera. He's going to be recast.
Oh, really?
Another. Yep. The first one, everybody's like waiting because soap recast happens so frequently and they're like, who's it going to be? And it's a surprise who it is because the guy that plays him currently is very talented. Like,
where's he going?
He's one of the, and so he made a post like saying like he wasn't fired. He just had something. I think he got a movie or something.
Okay, I'm realizing that my timeline of me missing Eddie Murphy is not the last year. Because I look and he was in You People and Coming to America. And Coming to America was the first time that I was like, where has he been for the second one? Of like, he was doing, I forget what talk show he was on that I saw him on. And I was like, oh my God. And now I'm looking through this. The timeline that I'm missing is like 2020. Because that was his animated era.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got, by the way, he's a Christmas movie that I fucking missed. 5.6 stars. Gotta see it.
What was the movie?
Candy Cane Lane. Sign me the
it's
fuck
a good
up.
movie.
I can't believe I haven't seen it. Is it going to be Amazon Prime? That's why. It always comes back. You missed the ones on Amazon Prime. Wait, this is a good cast. Well, no, I don't want to have to wait. Ugh, okay.
You can do a Christmas in July situation.
We used to do that for when I was a kid because I would only see my grandparents like once a year. My birthday's in August, and so we would do...
I know.
Yeah, but so we would do my birthday in August, and then in July, we would do like a Christmas celebration too. Okay. Someone else said, I hate that mold gremlin. JK is always wrong. It is confusing because it's JK. Like, just kidding.
Just kidding.
Someone said, JK Rowling is very fucking wrong. I might have clicked the wrong one. Someone else said, not sure how to vote, but ultimately whoever gives JK Rowling a platform is in the wrong. That mold shit is crazy, but someone definitely needs to capitalize on this and make a hate movie inspired by her. As sad as this is, I am happy people are seeing how vile she really is. Yeah, she just needs to get off social media. And if she's not going to get off social media, I think we need to bully her off of social media.
I think she likes it. She likes the attention.
It's because the mold rage. Like, it's just like, it's like steroids in her body. Like, she's buzzing. She's like, she's like looking for a fight. Jersey Shore, but like, those guys, they just juiced up. Someone else said, trigger warning for essay. As a sex-repulsed ace, I'm glad she went for us so publicly because there's no way to twist this in a way to, quote-unquote, protect women. As far as, quote-unquote, fake oppression goes, asexuality is still considered a sign or a symptom of mental illness or disorder, and there's a little conversion rape therapy to cure us. But mostly we just hear about how we've never had good sex yet, so I think a day of education and visibility is a good thing. Yeah, she is just, like, angry and she's, like, so deeply angry and uneducated. Here's the thing. You couldn't pay me to do that, and, like, she quite literally is, like, sitting on more money than like anybody could ever have, and is like living the worst like she's doing rich wrong, like so deeply wrong, and like she's so miserable.
And sometimes miserable people just love to be miserable.
I think she does.
And she's one of those people. She loves the controversy. She loves talking shit. She loves people giving her the attention from it.
She's obsessed with it. And like, yeah, it's just like it's a personality type that like I don't understand. And then when you pair that personality type with a mold infestation, you know what she needs? Carpal tunnel. Give her carpal tunnel.
She'll just use voice dictation.
And you're not watching her get even more angry at the technology, and it's just sending it. I think they've also released more casting of the show.
Yeah, I saw it on Deadline.
Yeah.
What's up, fellow TV watchers? It's Brian from The Core Podcast, where we cover all things Apple TV+. We are wrapping up our recaps of Emmy favorite Severance, but 2025 on Apple TV Plus is just getting started. In April and May, The Core is recapping Seth Rogen's new Hollywood satire, The Studio, and Jon Hamm's dark comedy, Your Friends and Neighbors. We'll also be recapping the first 2 seasons of Apple's sci-fi thriller, Foundation, heading into the 3rd season of that later this year. Search for The Core, all things Apple TV Plus, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
How does weather work? What's the secret to having a great conversation? How do most wealthy people get that way? These are just a few of the topics we've recently covered on my podcast, Something You Should Know. Each episode covers multiple topics that are likely relevant to you. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and listen, we've got over 1,000 episodes, over 4,000 mostly 5-star reviews. I invite you to check out Something You Should Know, wherever you listen.
Do you love Disney? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. There is nothing we don't cover.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed, but you definitely need in your life. So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, then my wrong of the week was the K-pop group Kiss of Life.
Oh, by the way, I didn't pick the one that is like literally from the birthday party because like one of them was like half cut off and the quality was not good. But I realized that's a lot of these poses, like they're their classic poses that looked a lot more. I was shocked to see that. I was like, oh, this wasn't just you. This is what you do in all of your photos.
They're dressed up in the photo that you posted.
Oh, is that the one I did?
Mm-hmm.
I thought I did the other one. Oh, sorry. No. But these poses are like, there are group photos of them, like professional photo shoot, not at the party. And they're doing like the same. And I was like, oh, this was so deeply on brand. And they're even in the same like positioning and order.
All right, someone said, not so fun fact. Julie from Kiss of Life, the girl whose birthday party it was, had previously been called out for saying the N-word and made an apology. Also, Julie and Bill are both born and raised in the U.S., so their blatant racism and ignorance is even more embarrassing. Another not so fun fact, pre-debut videos of Blackpink have been circulating recently showing 3 of 4 members also rapping, singing the N-word. Yes, and I briefly mentioned that in my thing, but I said since I was specifically talking about this one group, I wasn't going to mention the others. And then this person continues, and don't even get me started on their attempt at using AAVE in their songs. For example, You Gonna Finna Catch Me. A video from another artist, CL, from the same label as Blackpink, also recently went viral for her rapping Lil' Kim's song Whoa and using the N-word multiple times. Unfortunately, that's just a few of many examples. Yeah.
And if anybody does not know, Finna is AAVE that also is huge in the Bay Area. Like that was like high school Bay Area slang. Finna means this is like chai tea TT. Like Finna is gonna. Like it's like I'm gonna. Gullah Gullah Island. Like, I loved that show. Did you watch it as a kid?
Of course I did.
I loved it.
I was a kid when that came out, so you were watching old-ass reruns.
Yeah, Melissa, I was watching, I think it was on public access.
Yeah, I was watching it when it was on Nick Jr.
No. I also might have watched it on a VHS. But I loved it. I literally searched it on TikTok the other day and watched episodes.
The people are on TikTok.
That's how I got into it. And then I said, I actually run it back. I need to see a full episode.
All right. Someone else said, am I still allowed to bring up Billy?
Yes.
You can always bring up Billy. And one of them is very much dressed like Billy dressing like Chingy.
Yeah. This is a safe place for you to bring up, hey, has anybody ever thought about the fact that Billie Eilish's moon board is Chingy? This is a safe place for that.
Yeah. And then they continue. This is the main reason amongst many. I hate that Black people can't gatekeep shit. Even though there are artists / people who get inspired by other cultures / genres to make their art, and some of them give credit where it's due, very rarely do their race / cultural appropriating fans get put in check when they do shit like this. And I'll add on to that. It's also because the artists themselves don't give credit. Because, like, let's say someone like Renee Rapp, who is not appropriating in any type of way, but she has a cultural appreciation for Black music, and you can hear it in her songs. But she's always crediting Black artists as her inspiration.
Yeah.
Also said, then these people get popular and dumb shit like this happens, and most people don't blink an eye. I do have sympathy for artists to get forced to perform and do anything they don't want to because they're stuck in a contract. But this doesn't feel like that.
No. And seeing how they pose in all of their photos.
Yeah.
It's like, this seems like a core level of your branding.
Mm-hmm. And then someone else said, Kiss of Life is wrong. What makes it worse is Julie. It was her birthday party. She's the blonde one in the center, grew up in Hawaii. She should know better. Birthday streams are a form of fan service in K-pop. I don't ever watch these because I think it sucks to be obligated to do a live stream on your birthday. You should have a day off. On another note, I used to be a big fan of K-pop. Now I'm a casual listener. Main reasons that turned me off was because of frequent incidents of cultural appropriation like this. Other reasons include predatory business practices that often leave the artist underpaid and overworked, sexualizing minors, and extreme beauty standards. Don't get me started on the fandom. It can be scary. A lot of these fans, or more appropriate term is stalkers, are like baby reindeer's Martha.
Whew.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Not everyone is careful with your personal information, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the U.S. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. If your identity is stolen, a U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year by visiting LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. Introducing the all-new, all-terrain Honda Passport Trail Sport, the most off-road capable Honda Passport Honda has ever dreamt up. The Passport features increased ground clearance, roof rails on all trims, and available specially developed all-terrain tires. And you'll stay comfortable with tri-zone climate control and available features like heated and ventilated front seats and a panoramic moonroof. Learn more at honda.com/passport.
Shopping is hard, right? But there's a better way. Stitch Fix online personal styling makes it easy. I just give my stylist my size, style, and budget preferences. I order boxes when I want and how I want. No subscription required. And she sends just for me pieces. Plus outfit recommendations and styling tips. I keep what I love and send back the rest. It's so easy. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Spotify. That's stitchfix.com/Spotify.
We do have an update from the person that shared with us this great story about CrossFit.
Yeah.
And Ninja Turtles and Powerpuff Girls. All right. And the original title of it was Am I Wrong for Gossiping? Here we go. I'm late, but wanted to provide an update. But first, I am so glad these names were a hit because I was unsure how it would go, LOL. So for everyone who said I was wrong because I had to know my sister would blab girlies, I really didn't. My sister is typically a to herself, wallow in her annoyance type of person. So I thought she would just get a kick out of the cheating scandal, LMAO. We have talked so much shit and she's never spilled the tea. Also, I am the younger sister. She is older. So that's also why I didn't expect her to blab because she typically is more level-headed than me. I really never got to the bottom of why she hated Bubbles before the cheating. She just said she was bitchy and didn't sit right with her. I did leave this gym and CrossFit entirely. So did my man, Donatello. It definitely is a cult. I was pissed my sister blabbed because she had people coming for my neck, but I didn't want to be around those people to begin with. I just wanted a big ass.
Hey, that's how we all end up in a cult.
They all were bigots on the down low. I'm sorry, but CrossFit just gives racism point blank.
It is. CrossFit is like raw milk eugenics vibes.
Yeah. And we were the only black women there. So honestly, I'm glad we got the fuck out there anyway. Ma'am, sometimes saying your race is very important to the story.
No, this is actually, I didn't expect this.
I needed you to tell me this from the start. Because it would have changed some of the perspective that I had, and I would have been even more egregious about you getting the fuck out of there. And Bubbles is salty. I hope the dick was worth it because Raphael went and fucked a whole nother client the next week. We know this because after we moved out, the third male roommate and unproblematic king, Michelangelo, told us. Raphael ain't even want her. Anyways, love y'all. I will accept not wrong as the final verdict. Moving on with life with Donatello and Blossom. Talking just as much shit too. Signed, a Virgo who never truly thinks she's wrong.
We love a Virgo.
We do. Actually, I don't know what that means, but sure. If you say we love them, then we do.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
Who's a Virgo? What month is that? June?
No, September, end of August. Oh, Beyonce's a Virgo.
I was about to say Beyonce. Too.
That was the
I
other
was
one.
waiting. Yeah.
And Zendaya.
I was trying to think of people in my personal life.
Oh, okay.
Most of my friends' birthdays, the vast majority of them, May.
Oh, really?
Like in the first week. First 2 weeks.
What's that, Taurus?
Avia, Sarah and Catherine's birthdays are on the same day. Sinitra's birthday. Candace's birthday. Yeah. I feel like there's like one more.
Taurus.
Yep.
That's a good vibe. I know a lot of Aquariuses. And it is crazy, though, that I think I know 3 people who your birthdays are all in the same week.
Mm-hmm. You get me in... There's somebody that you always switch up our birthdays.
Oh, Melisa. Your birthdays are a day fucking apart.
Yeah.
2 days apart. Your birthdays are never, like, I don't think since in years... one has been on it's maximum that one could be on a Friday, one could be on a Saturday. Like, they're just, either both have your birthdays on a weekend, both on a week. Like, it's, yeah.
And
someone else is there too.
Not this week, but next year. Not that next year, but the year after next.
What, is it Friday?
My birthday will be on President's Day next year, on Monday, and then it'll be on a Tuesday. But it's still in that President's Day weekend. That's what messes it up. It's in the Valentine's Day, President's Day weekend. It's all the same weekend.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's a tough time. Yeah. It's kind of like it's really like a lot of thought has to go into it. And I wonder why the last couple of plans we made for your birthday should just get stressful.
Yep.
It's a lot of moving parts.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you all for listening. Join us tomorrow where you're going to listen to an old episode. Thank you so much. Come back and let us know what you listened to. Thursday, we've got Don't Blame Me. Friday, Fisting Friday. Monday, But Am I Wrong? Remember to vote on Tuesday, and then we will be here that day because we will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
In humanity's search for other worlds, we found something unexpected.
It's a massive collection of tiny pocket realities, and each one is a story.
So we can actually transcend our usual 4 dimensions of space and time to go physically into these stories?
Yes, using the Muse Pod.
But when we explored those stories, things didn't go as planned.
Mr. Darcy? That horrid man.
I am Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
None of us have been the same since Beth died.
What happens when classic stories go wrong? I go in to fix them.
Ah, humbug.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?
For the love of God, Montfessor!
Subscribe and listen to Muse, the latest audio drama from Dayton Writers Movement and Realm.
I am Dracula, and I bid you welcome.
From the podcast that brought you to each of the last lesbian bars in the country and back in time through the sapphic history that shaped them, comes a brand new season of cruising beyond the bars. This is your host, Sarah Gabrielli, and I've spent the past year interviewing history-making lesbians and queer folks about all kinds of queer spaces, from bookstores to farms to line dancing and much more.
For 11 years, every night women slept illegally on the common.
We would move down to the West Indies to form a lesbian nation.
Meg Kristen coined the phrase women's music, but she would have liked to say it was lesbian music.
And that's kind of the origins of the Comedy Hero Collective.
You can listen to Cruising on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes air every other Tuesday starting February 4th.
Let's hang out.
I'm Ellie. And I'm Lee, and we're the co-hosts of Let's Hang Out, a show about LGBTQ representation in the media, because representation matters. Come hang out with us to talk about all of the characters that should have been gay.
Because every movie or TV show would be better if it was gay.
Listen to us interview your favorite LGBTQ actors and creators.
Elise Bauman from Carmilla.
It just reminds me of like every time a queer woman becomes single, there's like this high-pitched siren that goes out that like only other queer women can hear, and they're like, what was that? Like, did I just hear the bat signal? Is a queer woman single again?
So binge on Let's Hang Out wherever you listen to podcasts, and hang out with us every Monday for your weekly LGBTQ fix.
I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee.
And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.